Hello there, and welcome to another one of our short talks on all things vegan. My name is Anna Malia, and I'm from North East Animal Rights. Today I'm going to talk to you about our support of the plant-based treaty. I've just mentioned the word vegan and plant-based, and we know these things are very, very different. Plant-based is a food part only, whereas veganism encompasses all aspects of animal exploitation. I've got a t-shirt here just as a constant reminder to remind people that being vegan isn't just about the food, it's not a diet. And we've recently changed our constitution to include the updated version of the definition of veganism, which includes a moral obligation to advocate for animals as well, to emphasise that it's not just about food. But recently, Animal Rebellion carried out the Stop the Supply of Dairy actions as part of their Plant-Based Future campaign. And whilst Plant-Based Treaty is a vegan organisation with a vegan message, they choose to use the words plant-based. You might remember quite a while ago now, probably a good year and a half ago, we spoke to Robbie Lockie of Plant-Based News and asked him why he used plant-based rather than vegan news. Their consensus was that using the word vegan can sometimes turn people away from our important work, maybe being seen as too extreme. I remember 16 years ago, before I went vegan pretty much overnight after seeing dairy footage. But I did have that conditioned mindset that veganism was the step too far and was seen as extreme. But obviously until I saw the footage and realised that hurting animals who want to live in peace, that's the part which is extreme, not taking that extra step to be vegan. We want as vegans, we want peace to all, love to all, no killing. So how is that extreme? Yet those breeding and torturing animals, killing animals in animal agriculture and vivisection, they're not seen as extreme. So is plant-based a term which will bring attention to a big part of our work as animal rights activists, or has the term been hijacked by businesses and other organisations and having another agenda? My personal opinion is it's all of this and more. As activists, we need to make sure that all forms of animal exploitation are not watered down in an attempt to appease the public and make it more palatable. The things which happen to animals, on a daily basis, isn't palatable, and shouldn't be palatable. We are seeing animals being massacred, being slaughtered, being exploited, in horrendous ways. So that can't be made palatable, it can't be watered down. Vivisection is vile. Circuses, zoos, and aquariums are cruel. Wearing animal skin is barbaric. But the reality is, we all have to eat. As humans, we need to eat. That's the first thing most of us are drawn to when we convert to veganism. It's basically what we're going to eat. Do we have to kind of like reinvent what we have? Do we have to spend all this time now going through our cupboards and working out what we can eat? But regardless of whether we're drawn to veganism through vivisection or through health or environment or something else, we do have to eat, and we all have similar concerns. All of us, as a new vegan, we all had the same concern as what can we eat? So if we make plant-based food easier to access and better to enjoy, and tie in with that the production, the education part of it, which is obviously key to what we do as a group, is our message. We are very much an educational group. We tie that in with the burning issues around climate change, no pun intended, but they are actually burning issues, and the effects animal agriculture and commercial fishing have on greenhouse gases, then surely that is a good thing, isn't it? Plant-based treaty was set up by Anita Crank, who was the founder of the Animal Save movement. The Animal Save movement is a peace-based movement set up in Canada, but they have groups all over the world now. It's a peace-based movement of activists who attend vigils outside of slaughterhouses. Members of NEA regularly attend, and we support North East Animal Save. And they are very surreal because they're protests, but they're not actual protests. We're protesting about what goes on inside, but we're protesting in a very, very peaceful way. We stand outside with signs asking people to make the connection between the animals they're walking past as dog walkers and the cows and sheep which go in, who go in. So it goes against kind of all what you would expect from a protest. We don't shout, we don't have megaphones, we don't have graphic images. And the plant-based treaty is an extension of that. They link in the educational peaceful approach, which we always support. With the issues around climate change, because everybody knows about climate change. You'd have to be pretty much living on Mars to not have been made aware of, not to be aware of what's going on with the climate at the moment. Okay, so given that we all need to eat, we all contribute either unknowingly or deliberately to climate change. So how can we change it? Plant-based treaty. I'm going to show you some of the information now. So this is a poster which we will have on our. So you can see this QR code here. You can see on the bottom there, plantbasedtreaty.org. And we will be talking to people about fossil fuels animal agriculture are driving the climate, ocean and biodiversity crisis. The three greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide and methane, they are at record highs and they're accelerating, and they need to be tackled in equal measure. And animal agriculture and fossil fuels are the biggest drivers of greenhouse gases. And the plant-based treaty want people to help them reverse the climate crisis. So they want individuals, members of parliament, councils and businesses to endorse their treaty, and it commits them to moving their systems to a plant-based future. We as a group tend to focus on individual change. We talk to individuals about how they can make the lives of animals better by not eating them, by not wearing them, by not hurting them, or generally exploiting them. But we do support groups who campaign for systemic change, policy change, because we need both of those. We need individuals to recognise what they can do, on a personal basis, but we also need the policy change. We need people, to vote, to make these choices with it when they're voting. Do the people, the politicians they're voting for, do the organisations they're supporting, do they promote helping our planet, helping the animals, stopping killing animals, or do they actively promote the killing of it? Are they promoting the killing of animals, or are they trying to stop the killing of animals? We do have a big fight on our hands with the new government, with their new regime, because they seem to be tearing up a lot of our past achievements, a lot of our successes. We've heard about foie gras, we've heard about the live exports, the ban on fur imports, all of these things potentially being overturned. So we need to keep up this campaign. We need to keep on fighting. We need to continue to fight and raise awareness. We don't want these things overturned. We owe to those who will inherit our planet, the children, the children, our grandchildren, our children, and their grandchildren and children. The planet does not need humans to survive, and arguably will be doing considerably better without us humans. But us humans, we need the planet. So we need the planet to be in its best shape as possible. If we went plant-based in the UK tomorrow, we would have sufficient food for 200 million people. The population of the UK is about 67, 68 million. So we could feed our country nearly more than 3 times over. If everyone in the world consumed at the same rate as we do in the UK, we would need nearly 3 planet Earths. Now, some countries obviously won't consume in the same way we do, but other countries are a lot worse than what we are. So we are already consuming at a rate which is well beyond the planet's capacity. We have a food system which currently grows food for animals who are killed by humans to provide food for humans. Plant-based food systems ask that we grow food for humans and leave the animals the hell alone. It isn't rocket science. It's so simple. It's literally just cut out the animal part of it, cut out the animals. We are bleeding the planet dry. So what you can do as an individual, you can endorse the plant-based treaty, which is eat plants, plant trees. You can scan the QR code. I'm hoping that will show up properly. But if not, you can go to plantbasedtreaty.org and all the information is on there. Ask your employer to endorse it. If you work in a school, if you work in a council, if you work in a private organisation, ask them to endorse it. Ask your ward councillors and your council leadership too as well. Ask your MP, your Member of Parliament. Our MP for our area, Emma Llewellyn-Buck, she has already endorsed it and also raised an ADM in Parliament, asking others to endorse it. We need to keep on raising awareness. So we need the policy change. We need people to keep on pushing these people who are our elected individuals, councillors and MPs, to make sure that this stays in their agenda, and they can't forget that this is important. Help us to have the planet that our children deserve, and help us to allow animals to live in peace, safe from harm. That's what we all want, okay? That's what we should all be striving for, as animal rights activists, but actually as compassionate individuals. We all want a better world for our children, and we all should want a better world for the animals who live in it as well. So that's all for now. I hope you found that useful. Please go along to the Plant-Based Treaty and support them, sign up. If you sign up and you have done so, sort of mention on our page, that'd be great to know that you've done that, because you've heard us push the Plant-Based Treaty. Thank you for listening. If you like our work, please like and follow our pages. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, and we also have our very small YouTube channel, which we'd be delighted to have more members, more people subscribing. So this is Anna Amelia from North East Animal Rights, signing off now and saying thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.